Hey everybody, just wanted to bring you a video on the new used 4630 as promised. We picked this up at an auction, online auction. I was able to go see this tractor in person. It's fairly local, about 2.5 hours away, which is kind of about the only way I would recommend buying anything at auction, if you can go see it and drive it in person. I went and drove it. Shifts very well, clutches very well, starts very well. The owner said it was overhauled, and you never know on those things. Some people's interpretation of overhauls is different from others, but started right up after being sitting overnight. Even in 50-degree weather, a lot of these tractors don't like to start with factory pistons in them. This tractor started like it had been warmed up, so that was nice to see. Immediately you can pick up some things on these tractors when you're looking to buy them. The injection pump, no paint on it. Tells me it's been overhauled, rebuilt, or is a reman. Same thing on the cylinder head, no paint. This thing's been overhauled, more than likely. Over here, which was a little harder to see until I went and saw it, but all splices on the main harness. Which tells me the tractor's been split. I mean, and that's not the way I like to do things, but some people do. That's the way they do it. They cut corners sometimes. It tells me this thing's probably been into, most likely, for a perma-clutch replacement. So honestly, that's not something I mind seeing. That tractor's been split. More than likely, clutch was put in. I'm guessing. Aside from that, what else can I tell you on this tractor? It's got new rubber on it, so that was worth some money in itself. The outside duals were junk. We threw them to the side, widened it out, which was a huge job. Talk about 40 years of rust. It had a bad remote on the back over on the left side that we didn't know until we brought it home and hooked it up. It was leaking down badly. I robbed one off the 2520 to get this working for now, but we are going to have to either get a reman or rebuild it. So we got that going on there. And a few little cosmetic things. I mean, it's got a primered rim, which, like I say, if the tractor had chloride in it and they had a tube fail, I could see that being why that was replaced. You could tell there was probably chloride in them. There was some leakage here. This got some rust going on. This side is not as pretty as the other side. Radiator cap is not original, big deal. Missing a boot up here. All things that I can get. But, again, back to paying attention to what you can see on these. It's got a reman AC compressor, 134A compressor, new AC lines with the right fittings. One thing you want to do on these, if you're looking to buy one, and the owner will let you, what we did on this one was come down here to the transmission sump plug or drain plug with a 1/2-inch drive ratchet. Remove that. Have 4 empty 5-gallon buckets with lids. Fill them up. Pull that screen out. Inspect the screen for brake material. It'll be big flakes of metal along with some brass pieces. That's brake material. If you have that in there, you need to reassess what you want to do, because it will, that metal will get into the transmission pump and hydraulic pump. And the transmission pump will likely go first, which is a fairly, I won't say it's a huge job. You have to take the rock shaft off and stuff, but it's a job you don't want to do, and it's an expense that you don't want to have. So if you see brake material there, you're going to be out. Brakes, for sure. Probably close to $1,000 in parts, roughly, plus labor. So call it $1,500 to $2,000. And then a transmission pump, say another $1,500 to $2,000, depending on who you have do it and what the pump costs. So both things you don't want to have to do. Inspect that screen. That is probably the one thing. If I could only do one thing, I would check that sump screen before buying one of these tractors. And that is on the Syncro and Quad Range. There is a screen on the power shifts, and I would inspect it for the same reasons, but I don't think the plug is in quite the same place. On the power shifts, the transmission pumps on those are twice as much money, so be darn sure you check that. Aside from that, the air conditioner works. It does leak a little Freon, but it's, you know, it's fine. All these tractors leak a little Freon, it seems like. The inside of the cab is not great. I had to do a little welding on the door hinge. Seats, not the best. It needs a cab kit, as all of ours do. A little damage here, but it's a 1977 model, and it's got the 40 series style control panel up here, 3-speed blower fan. The transmission shift's excellent. I really like that, and I do put in a power plug for baler. Man, whatever you want to pull with this mower, we could put the mower on this. But what I do is I run 10 gauge paired wire up here, and then I go into a 100 amp. This is like a plug you would use for, say, like a camper or one of those trailers where you need power to charge a battery, like a dump trailer. That's what this is. It's a 100 amp plug. I bought a pack of them on eBay for peanuts. This is just a 2-prong flat. So if I had the baler hooked up to this, I'd have the big one hooked up to my monitor, and I'd have the smaller one hooked up to my pump for the Colback tank. And that's all. Just runs down under the floor mat over the top up here. And then I hook it into the junction box over here with the 50 amp fusible link. I don't have any LED lights on it yet, but with a little time I can get that done. This tractor starts amazing. Even cold, starts right up, which again tells me probably has high compression pistons in it. So I love that. It is smooth as glass. We'll start it up here quick. Yeah, she runs great. So what we did with this tractor, we've used it for about 10 days, 2 weeks now, pulling this rake, because that's the chore we needed it to do right now, which isn't hard work for a 150 horse tractor. But I can tell you it already uses less fuel than that little 2520 over there. We've raked about 200 acres. And these are, I think they've got 60-gallon tanks. Well, this tractor came in with a quarter tank left. So it probably had 15 gallons left. And I can't tell you how many days of raking that was, probably 3 full days. It's probably burning around 3 gallons an hour, maybe less. And that tractor burns 3 gallons plus with that little gas engine. And you're able to ride in comfort. Air conditioner works. So basically, picked ourselves up another chore tractor. It's a little rougher, but you pay more for local tractors. There's not as many of these tractors out west. There are a dime a dozen out in the east. So yeah, you just kind of deal with what you have available to you. And I feel less risk buying a local tractor with a few issues maybe, but I was able to drive the tractor, start the tractor, look at the oil, look at the coolant, and see the replaced parts and the parts that weren't replaced. So first-hand knowledge was worth a lot, even though we had to pay a little bit more than we wanted to for it. I don't see us really getting burned with it, but you never know on a used purchase. So keep you updated on it, but for now it's just another old Gen 2 tractor to add to the fleet. Nice thing is it's a late serial number, 4630. So it's basically some of the last ones before they went to the Iron Horse series, the 40 series, which tells me it's probably got some of the best parts made in this series, which is worth a lot. So that's all. I appreciate you.